Okay, fine. So I'll just do I do this? Fine. So morning class you have learned. Yes, all of you can hear me. Yes, Mithun, can you hear me? Hello.
Ma'am,
Yes,
yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
okay, ba. So this is your first chapter actually, and where in the morning session you have learned SIC machine architecture, which comes for 8 marks, and this is SIC XC machine architecture, where SIC XC stands for simple instructional computer with extra equipments. Okay, so again, when you are learning a machine architecture, you have to learn all these concepts, that is memory, registers, then data format, instruction formats, and the addressing modes, instruction set, and last input output. Again, this again comes for 12 marks directly or for 8 marks. Okay, so when I say 8 marks, they'll just ask you to explain instruction format, addressing modes. Again, it depends on the question sets. Okay, fine. So coming to the memory, as you have it in SIC machine, here SIC XC, each memory is of 8-bit bytes. Okay, and 3 consecutive bytes form your word, and all the addresses are byte addresses. Okay, so the address line is 20. Okay, here in SIC it is 15, and here it is 20 bytes. Okay, so totally you will have 2 par 20 bytes of memory. So obviously it is more than the SIC machine. Okay, and coming to the registers, there are 9 registers. So how many registers do you have in SIC machine? Somebody can answer. How many registers do you have in SIC machine? Hello? Hello? How many registers do you have in SIC machine? Hello?
Five,
Five
ma'am.
register. Okay, everybody has to be there in line. Fine, because from tomorrow's class it's a full
9 register.
problematic. Fine, ba. So everybody has to keep answering. Done. So register here, totally there are 9 registers, and each register is of 24 bits. Why it is 24 bit? Because each one is of one word. What is one word? It is 3 bytes, 24 bits. Okay, except the floating point registers. Okay, so those registers are your AXL and base register, and this is your general purpose, and T is also general purpose, and F stands for floating point register, and again PC and SW. Okay, now what do students do is, if you look in your book Leland Beck, okay, he has not put AXL and PC and SW. Why he has not put? Because this is already is there in your SIC. Okay, so students do the same mistake while writing. They'll not write AXL and PCSW, they'll write only BSTF, only 4 registers. Okay, only 2 marks will be given or 1 mark will be given. So you have to write
Ma'am, your
all
voice is breaking, ma'am.
voices. Now is it clear? Is it clear now, Shanmugh? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me
Not
now?
it's breaking.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Ma'am, some people have internet connectivity problem, ma'am.
Now it's fine on my end, ma'am. I guess few people they have some problem.
Okay, anyhow, I'm doing the recording.
Fine.
Okay, so I'll share you the recorded video also. But still, you people be online, okay, so that you learn directly. Done? Okay, is still voice is breaking? Is still voice is breaking?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am,
No.
everything is
Okay.
fine, ma'am.
Okay,
No,
fine,
ma'am.
ba. I'll continue. So this AXL already I've taught in the first class, that is 0, 1, 2. E is for accumulator, and X is for my index register, and L is for linkage register. Okay, I don't think I have to explain again. And the next one is base register. The number is 3, which is used for base relative. Okay, so which you will be seeing in the next chapter, that is assembler. And the next one is S and T. The number is 4 and 5. Okay, so these are my general purpose working general register. So as you know already, if you don't specify any register, where it will be stored? In the accumulator. If you want to store it in a specific register, I can specify these two register, or these two can be used as a temporary registers. Okay, when you want to move some data, okay, into the register, that time you can do S and you can use S and T register. That's why they are called as general purpose registers. Okay, and this is my F. F stands for floating point accumulator. Okay, so when I say add F, so what do you mean by that? Add the floating point numbers and store it in a accumulator, right? So the number is 6, which is 48 bits. Okay, do remember this? This is my 48 bits, not 24 bit. And the next two are PC and SW. As you already know, PC is your program counter and SW is my status word. Okay, these are the 9 registers which are available on SIC machine architecture. And the next one is coming to the data format. In SIC, I can store only integer and negative integer and the ASCII. Correct, no? And here, the same way, integers are stored as 24-bit binary numbers and negative values are stored as 2's complement and characters are stored using 8-bit ASCII. Along with that, there is a 48-bit floating point data type. Okay, so how do you represent that 48-bit floating point? Here you have a 48-bit structure. S stands for my sign bit, it is 1 bit. Exponent, it will take 11 bits and fraction is 36. If you remember your CO's class, so you will be learning is this as mantissa, right? Yes or no? So you have your base and the mantissa. So base, the same way here, the representation is different. Okay, so this is exponent and this is fraction. So totally 48 bit you have. The fraction is always between 0 and 1 and the exponent is between the 0 to 2 power 11 minus 1, that is 0 to 2047. Correct, no? The value what you can store is 0 to 2047. And here these two things which you learned, the normalized, right? After, just before the point what has to be there and after the decimal point what has to be there. Here they say that for normalized floating point number, the highest order bit of the fraction must be 1. Okay, but in CO you will learn both the ways. Okay, that is either 0, that is not normalized, and normalized it will be 1. Okay, here you are not going to learn any of the problems. Okay, this is only for theory purpose. And if the expression has the value and a fraction, okay, so this will be represented as F star 2 power E minus 1024. Okay, that is exponent. Fine, E stands for my exponent. Why do I do this? Because when you want to convert the negative number, that is floating point exponent, to your the base, so that time I will be doing E minus 1024. The sign will be 0 if it is positive number and it will be set to 1 if it is negative. Okay, so the example I have given, the representation 5 integer and negative number 5 and A, and I have given the full explanation of 4.89, that is decimal number, that is floating point number. But do remember, in the exam you have to write only till here. Okay, fine, till here you have to write, so you don't have to explain all these stuffs. So how exactly you convert and store the 4.89, but I've written the example which is same as your CO problem, whatever you have learned in CO theory classes. So you don't have to learn for time being. Okay, so this is for explanation and to know the understanding of how exactly it is stored. I have explained in depth. Okay, so all the explanation is there. Once the class is done, please go through this. Okay, fine. So I have given 3 examples, I feel. So I don't have to explain because you will not be writing this in the exam. That's why I'm not explaining now. Okay, fine. So the next is instruction format. So as you know already in SIC machine, so what is the length of each instruction? What is the length of each instruction? Anybody there? Akila or Raga? What is the length of instruction in SIC machine? Hello? Hello? Akila? What is the length of each instruction? Hello, Mithun? Hello, Mithun? Okay, so the length of the instruction format in SIC is 24-bit, but that is not enough. Okay, so that's why you have 20-bit of addressing lines. Okay, fine. So here you have both the simple one, that is relative addressing, or the extended version. So you have E equal to that, you see down. Okay, fine. So you have four types of format here in SIC XC. Okay, so format 1 is 1 byte, that is only opcode. Okay, so this you please make a correction in the notebook. This is not rsub. Rsub is actually 3 bytes. Okay, so if you see your the Leland Beck 470, the page number 470, so this is you have FIX, okay, RTIX, that is convert to integer and convert to floating point number, that is float. There is an instruction by name float. So please make a correction over here. That is not rsub. Rsub is actually 3 bytes. Okay. So by mistake I have written this. This is actually one byte. Okay, that is the float, TIX, all those stuffs. HIO, that is input or halt the input output operations. So those are all your 1 byte instructions. And the next format, instruction format, is format 2, and this is very much required for next class. Okay, please make sure that all of you learn this. And 2 bytes where 8-bit is opcode and 4-bit for the register R1 and 4-bit for the another register R2. Okay, what I mean by that, when you want to do any operation between register to register, okay, so you cannot use this when you do an operation between register and memory. You have to use this only when you have two registers. Okay, so here you have an example. Compare the content of the accumulator with the content of the register S. Okay, so that time you go for the format 2. Okay, so here opcode of the compare is A0. So each one is a nibble. Okay, this is actually 8-bit and 4-bit is called as what? Nibble, right? So nibble, each two nibbles it will be representing in the X format. So this is A and this is 0. And A, what is the number of A? As I've told, you should remember the number of the registers. What is the number of accumulator? Register 0. Correct? No. What is the number of general purpose register? That is S. So what is this number? It is 4. Correct? No. So the same thing here. Okay, so that's why I've asked you people to remember. Okay, so this is 4, 0, 1, 0, 0. It will be represented in the form of nibble. Okay, fine. Hello, 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 Nisarga, can you hear me? Hello, 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 can you hear me now? Yes, hello, can you hear me now? Somebody has to reply for this. Shiva? Hello, Shiva?
Hello, ma'am.
Is it audible? Is it audible?
Hello.
Hello, Mithun? Is it audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it audible, ba? Because somebody is saying that it is
Yes, ma'am.
breaking. That's why. Is it audible?
Hello.
Hello?
I can hear, ma'am.
You can hear because somebody is messaging me that my voice is not audible. Mithun. Okay.
Yeah, ma'am, it's little bit disturbing, ma'am, but it is okay. We can hear.
Oh,
But
because
this
this is
is not
very
clear.
important, ba. You people have to learn. Okay. Because
Ma'am,
next
it's not
chapter,
clear. Yes, ma'am.
you have to do the object code. So that's why format 1, format 2 and format 3, these 4 are very important. Okay, fine. So format 2 is whenever you want to do any register operation. Okay, then next is format 3. This is the one which we will be using every time. Okay, fine. Format 3, when I say 3 bytes, how many bits? It is 24 bits, correct? No, 8 3s are 24. So 6 bits are meant for opcode and 2 bits for
24 bits.
24 bits. 8 3s are 24. Okay. So here do remember that actually 1 byte is 8 bits, no? Yes or no? Yes. Hello? 8 bit is 1 byte, but out of that each one is represented as nibbles. Okay, so this is very important. This is one nibble, and in the next nibble the lowest 2 bits are shared to these 6 bits, that is NIXBPE. Okay, fine. So I'll tell you what is NIXBPE. So before that, opcode is 6 bits and each one is 6 attributes, 6 bits, and the 12 bit is meant for my displacement. Okay, fine. So what is N is? So N stands for indirect, okay, indirect addressing mode, and I stands for immediate addressing mode, and X stands for indexed addressing mode, and B stands for base relative addressing mode, and P stands for PC relative addressing mode, and E stands for extended. Okay, when this space is not enough, I'll go for the extended mode, that is your format 4, and the 12 bit is for the displacement. What do you mean by displacement? It is your target address minus the program counter will give me the displacement, correct? No? So that's what you write in a microprocessor, plus 4 minus 4 plus 8 minus 8, correct? So the same thing here, the displacement. So you have an example, load into accumulator #3. # indicates me the immediate addressing. Okay, what do you mean by load 3 to accumulator? So how do you represent that? The opcode for load LDA is 00. Okay, so 40. Then out of the next 4 bits, 2 bits are 00, and here the immediate addressing, that is I is set and N is 0, all remainings are 0, and this is my displacement is 003. Okay, if you don't understand, please don't worry, because next class I'll be teaching the example live. You have to do along with me. Okay, fine. So this is my format 3. Done, ba? So here E has to be 0 in format 3. If you set E equal to 1, then it is the extended format, that is format 4, which is of 4 bytes. So 4 bytes means how many bits? 32. Okay, so all these are same. Only here, see here you have displacement, and here what you have? Direct address. Okay, so you will be loading the direct address onto the accumulator. So here how do you represent the extended format, that is format 4 is plus. Okay, if there is a plus before my opcode, it is always my format 4 and the read record. So as I've taught already, JSUB, this is the subroutine name. Okay, so this is how you represent that, and anyway you are going to learn this in the tomorrow morning class. Okay, 11 o'clock. Done, ba? So these are the 4 formats what are available on SICXC. Okay, format 1 1 byte, format 2 2 bytes, and format 3 3 bytes, and format 4 4 bytes. Okay, fine, ba? So next is addressing modes. So here you have different addressing modes. This table is very important to write your object code. Okay, if you hope you remember these 6 bits. Okay, NIXBPE, that should be printed in your mind. Okay, base relative means B is set and P equal to 0. Okay, target address, how do you calculate the target address? Will be the content of the base register plus displacement. Okay, so here this is very important. The range is 0 to 4095. Okay, 0 to 4095, because you are not going to use the negative numbers over here. Okay, fine. If the address comes as negative, then you have to go for the PC relative, that is program counter relative. These two are very important. The two addressing modes by default which are available on SIC machine is program counter relative and base relative. If you see in Leland Beck, no, so he says first these two, then he explains different addressing modes. Okay, fine. So program counter relative, when I do that, so P equal to 1 and B equal to 0. The target address is content of the PC plus displacement. Okay, so the range is minus 20482 to 2047. Okay, now you have to convert into the hexadecimal value. And the direct addressing or the simple addressing is when both are set to 0, 0. This when I go to format 3. So target address equal to displacement. And if you set that as 0, 0 in format 4, target address equal to address field. Okay. And this is base relative plus index addressing. See, these are my two important addressing modes. On this, I can play with the remaining bits. Okay, so along with these two, I can play with these four. Okay, with these three. That is either immediate or indirect or indexed, like that. Okay, so this is base relative plus indexing. When do you say base relative? B equal to 1, P equal to 0. When do I say indexed? X equal to 1. Okay. Target address equal to the content of base register plus X plus displacement. Okay. The same way program relative plus indexed, X equal to 1. This is nothing but P plus X plus displacement. And immediate, do you remember this? I equal to 1 and N equal to 0. Okay. So what do you mean by immediate? As you have learned already in mu, P, CO and all. Suppose I say 60. 60 is directly stored onto my accumulator. Correct? No. I don't need any address. So target address equal to the operand value itself. Okay. So no memory reference. And next is indirect addressing when N equal to 1. So this is, what do you mean by indirect addressing? I go to that address, I fetch the value in that particular address. On that particular value's address, whatever you have, you will be storing into accumulator. It is two-way, correct? No. What is indirect addressing? You go to this particular address, then in that address, whatever the value is there, you have to fetch and store it onto the accumulator. That is indirect. Simple addressing is I equal to 0, N equal to 0 or I equal to 1, N equal to 1. So, hello. When you say I equal to 1 and N equal to 1, we say that it is neither indirect nor immediate. So by default in all your next problems, I will be setting N equal to 1 and I equal to 1 unless you specify either as immediate, indirect or indexed. Okay. So this is your format 3 in base relative. Displacement is interpreted as 12-bit. Okay. And here it is 2's complement. Okay. In PC relative, it is interpreted as 12-bit sign and negative number is interpreted as 2's